Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right, so the deal is done. The deal is done. They finalized it right away. Multiple pick swaps, second round picks, Landry Shamet, and of course Chris Paul's contract headed to Washington for Bradley Beal. It's a done deal. Curious to see what else Phoenix does. As I said in my last video, they're probably gonna have to create some more flexibility for themselves somehow. Beal, KD, Booker. You can score all day. They're going to get assists off each other. Josh Okogie's in the mix. Ayton's still in the mix. Maybe that's enough. We just saw the Denver Nuggets win the championship with 8 players. Maybe they can find themselves a couple players and try to do it that way. I know they're difficult to defend. If they can stay healthy all season long, I obviously have them at the top of the Western Conference. Clearly, you put together a super team, you're going to be expected to do some things. My emphasis on depth is still high, but again, the evidence, what Denver just showed me, makes me have to notch that down just a smidgen. But it's not about whether or not you can win with the talent. You got to be able to make it to an 82-game season plus playoffs. And then if you win it, you're going to want to defend it. So it's like, these are the type of things I already know. And this is going to be something that's going to be very difficult for that trio to do. For one, who the hell is guarding Wembanyama with that? I still think Wembanyama is going to just score all over the place and do whatever he wants, and no one's going to be able to defend him from possession to possession to possession to possession unless they get a center who can actually do that. So that is going to be the key. If I'm them, I know that I'm going to have a hard time with teams with size. Even though I can score on every possession, it's only one basketball. Who's defending what? Who's on the weak side blocking shots? Who's going to be offensive rebounder? Who's doing all these things? KD, do you expect for him to play as well as he always has? I expect KD to be an excellent shot maker as always, but I don't know that he's going to be better defensively. He's not. Booker, underrated defender. He's just 2 guard. What does that have anything to do with the paint and all these other areas that need to be defended? And then Bradley Beal, nobody's ever accused Bradley Beal of being a good defender. No, he's a bucket getter. So this is strictly a bucket getting situation. They're going to tell you this team is going to win the championship. And I'm telling you, unless they find a way to get players to do those things, they're not. They're going to score a lot. They're going to win a lot. They're going to lose in the playoffs. That's how that goes. And that is only contingent on everybody staying healthy. Because now you got Bradley Beal eating $50 million of your cap. He goes down with a rolled ankle. Who's coming in the game? It's going to be Beal and KD playing with a bunch of what they just got through playing with. The exact same thing. So it's ill-advised. But you can't tell a new owner nothing. You know what I mean? I like Bradley Beal. I like Devin Booker. I like KD. Yeah, you liked them 6 years ago too. But here we are. So here we go. We're going to see how it works out, man. We're going to see how it works out. This is what happens when teams are try to buy a championship. You do stuff like this. You do stuff like this, and then your team is either going to work it out and win a championship, or it's going to look like the Brooklyn Nets. And the 3-star model worked very well in Miami because all 3 of those players were two-way players, man. That's what it really comes down. I got to say this. It worked in Boston because all 3 of the players were two-way players, man. Plus you had Rondo on a rookie contract. The model doesn't work. It's a failure 9 out of 10 times. And this particular one, nobody's playing any defense. And nobody's really looking to pass the ball to each other. Not really. I mean, they're going to force each other to. They're going to force their way to. But there's no seamless passer in this situation. And no teammates, basically. All I'm saying is this is a team that is meant to draw casuals in to betting on these games because of their names. And I'm telling you, you're going to lose. You're going to lose a lot. It's not going to work out because these guys have to stay healthy, and none of them are known for staying healthy on top of all of these problems. And they're going to have very key defensive assignments because they're going to be on the floor, all 3 of them, all the time. I don't like this. I like it as it pertains to we have an unguardable force and we can score 170 points. Problem is, how many games you guys going to play together? Who's guarding who? And then from there, can you get a system going with Frank Vogel? Y'all know how I feel about small ball Frank. That makes anybody better. Now, he's won a championship in 2020, and you know what kind of team we had? A deep team with a bunch of defensive players. He's supposed to be a defensive coach, coaching an offensive team that only has one defensive player, maybe two if you count Campaign and Josh Okogie. I don't know where defense is coming from. I don't know, but this is going to be a nightmare for you just off the strength of Frank Vogel being the coach. Just off the strength of that, this is going to be a nightmare. So, yeah, this is going to crash and burn, sons, and I feel bad for you guys. I'm going to apologize to you ahead of time because y'all about to be the new Brooklyn Nets. And I told y'all last year the best way to build around this team is to build around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant by getting a deep team. A deep team. You went and got a third star. A third star who's likely only going to be able to contribute the same thing that the other two stars do. I just understand this is going to be bad. I just understand it. The next thing they have to do is try to find themselves. You got to replace Ayton with a defensive center, man. I don't care what you do. Even if you trade Ayton to a team that you think Lively will be available for, you trade him somewhere and have them draft Lively for you. Take back their player contracts that you could add as depth to your team anyway, because you need to turn Ayton into several people. Who cares who they give you back? Just get back some people. And make them draft Lively for you. Make them draft Clowney for you. That's what you need. You need that. You need somebody who can come in and block a shot. You need somebody who can come in and weak side rim protect. And offensive rebounders and defensive rebounders. Like I said, Josh Okogie makes me feel a lot better about you guys. As long as he's on tab, you're going to feel like everything could be okay so long as he's continuing to develop forward as a defensive forward. You should, and hitting jump shots as he was able to last year. He makes things okay. But Ayton needs to turn into somebody with a motor, man. And somebody who doesn't need the ball on the offensive side, because obviously your offense is going to be between three people. So Ayton's an offensive player who can never get in rhythm because of it. So get him out of there. Bring yourself somebody who can play some defense. Somebody who doesn't need a bucket at all. You know, that's why I said get a Derek Lively. You know what I mean? You need like a Robert Williams type, Clint Capella type. Somebody like that. You guys got to get yourself a real center, man. Jalen Duren type. You need something like that. If you don't have that, Phoenix, and you thinking Ayton's going to handle all that for you, Jokic's going to eat y'all lunch. Y'all going to lose. Just telling the truth. Just telling the truth. You're going to lose. You're going to be able to hit shots. They're going to be able to hit more. And that's just the bottom line. So I'm telling you, man, I hate this for Phoenix fans who actually think this is going to work. That's who I hate this for. Because when you put together three players that are eating up this much of your cap, the rest of your team is garbage, man. And you're just waiting for those guys to either get hurt or somehow outscore everybody every night, as to which you're going to be giving up a lot of points anyway. So a lot of people are going to say a lot about Kevin Durant and how he always has himself on some type of super team. I don't know if he's the one pushing for all of this every time, or it's just he's just getting typecast as a guy that you put the super team around. I don't know. It could be that, actually. But, you know, Devin Booker, congratulations to him. He stayed in the toilet with this franchise, rode it all the way up. And they've been trying to put real talent around him. They really have. However you view it, they've really made it so that he didn't have to demand a trade out to feel like he's playing with people. So that's a big deal. He's gotten his money, and I think a lot of teams would like to see their franchise go crazy around him. I would like to see it in a way that I would believe him, but forget my thoughts about it. The bottom line is Phoenix is trying to continue to bring him some of the best there is. And so that is what I say. I like him and Bradley Beal in a nutshell. Booker and Bradley Beal together, I can build around that. So I like that, right? But then again, Bradley Beal has that super contract, so it's only so much I can do for myself. Plus, I got KD. Am I willing to trade KD? Nobody's thinking about trading KD. I probably think about trading KD right now. I probably do. I probably do because I don't believe in the three-star model, so that's why I would do it. I'm going to keep the two efficient guards, and then I'm going to trade KD for a plethora of everything else, and then just allow them to go that route. Because my thing with KD is I'm a believer in KD right now. He can still contribute, just like I believe in Kawhi right now, just like I believe in Paul George right now. It's kind of along those. He's in that tier for me right now to where I can bring him to my situation if I'm, say, Philadelphia, feel great about winning the championship. I can bring him to my situation if I'm San Antonio, bring him to Wembanyama, think I can really win. You know what I mean? I'm going to now consider those players as number 2 guy, number 3 guys for the big dog, youngster. That's how I'm looking at it. You know, if I'm Minnesota, bring Paul George to Anthony Edwards. That's how I'm doing that. and I'm moving forward because if I want them to be the guy, or if I'm slapping them next to each other, as we've talked about a lot over the last 2 days with the Clippers, then it's not going to give me that dynamic that I think ultimately can propel them to win a championship. They shouldn't be really relying upon each other. They should be playing with a Jokic. They should be playing with a Giannis. You understand what I'm saying? That's where they're at, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna probably try to put Kevin Durant in a situation, send him to Milwaukee or something like that, send him to Philadelphia or something like that. I'm serious, and I'm gonna leave myself as Phoenix with Bradley Beal and Devin Booker, them two crazy, great, efficient shooting guards, and then restart with Kevin Durant's value as my future and the rest of my flexibility. I need that. Whether I know I need it or not, I need that. And why would I choose Kevin Durant the one to leave? Because he's the oldest one. He's the oldest one. And I don't think I can get as much for Bradley Beal now that I brought that contract in. If you try to resell it, you're going to find out you can't get much for it. And Devin Booker is my guy. I mean, Devin Booker's the guy that was here the first. He's our Steph Curry. So we're not moving him at all. So, yeah, Kevin Durant's the one that's on the move if I'm moving things. But that's not how they're thinking. They think they can win a championship this way. So we're going to see them fail. It is what it is. And then they're going to come around next year and realize they need to trade Kevin Durant. That's how that's going to go. That's exactly how that's going to go, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, man, I told y'all the Nets wasn't going to work. It's the same thing, man, only a little worse in my opinion. It's a little worse. Because at least the Nets had some remnants of defensive players in depth to some degree. Even though it didn't really necessarily look that great, for a time the Nets were able to win a lot. It looked pretty good. This team, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I like Bradley Beal, but he's not exactly Kyrie Irving. And I like Devin Booker, but James Harden, you know, it's just a different dynamic around Kevin Durant. Still no defense being played. So, I don't know, man. Maybe you try to offer DeAndre Ayton for Nicholas Claxton, bring him to Phoenix, try to give yourself that defensive dynamic, and try to recreate what they got up there in that way. That might not be something to actually laugh at, believe it or not. That could actually be a thing. Karl Anthony Towns, crazy contracts, and you want to slap crazy contracts together. You know what I mean? That's impossible. But these are the type of things I'm looking at. I'm saying, Phoenix, you have a team that can put a lot of people, booties in seats, as my mom used to say. You can get people to watch your team. You're going to have all the ABC, TNT games, all that. But at the end of the day, basketball is not just about shooting the basketball. It's not just about getting buckets, man. And that's where this era has gone wrong, because everybody who's watching Steph Curry and KD and all these guys shooting the ball, they forget other stuff is necessary. It's like spending $200 million on a quarterback and then having a horrible offensive line and getting mad at the quarterback for getting sacked. It's like, no, you need the line to help keep those guys off him. The defense is going to do its job and go after that quarterback. And he's going to be running for his life. It's the exact same thing that these guys come in building their basketball teams thinking that they don't have to adhere to. Why? Because of the betting era. They don't care if the scrap wins. They just want it to sell. And that is why I'm speaking the way I am about it. You don't have your offensive line. That's what it is. All the dudes that you need to do all the things that are going to make this team actually good are not there. You just got a bunch of stars who are going to be asked to shoot the ball and do those things, as to which they're going to be relied upon too much throughout the course of an 82-game schedule, for which they've already had mileage on all three of them. We know these guys have been in the league for 10 years or more apiece. And now they're not going to have any backups to help give them a breather. So you're waiting for guys who've already proven to be injury prone to get hurt and asking them to rely upon each other. It is garbage. It really is. Now, if the NBA would have done a different job of allowing more super team friendly circumstances, like with the cap being a little different, or rather the collective bargaining agreement being more so friendly for this type of building, then you could see them put together a real team around these three, and we wouldn't even need to have this conversation. But the NBA has done a very, very specific job of shutting this down, so that when you do this, it is a poison pill. And then you have owners like the new Phoenix Suns owner, who's going to say, I can do it anyway, and here we are. So it's meant for you to fail, fam. That's what I'm here to tell you. It's not meant for you to be able to do this. And it did it anyway. So I guess that's what happens. That's what happens when you let people in who have endless pockets. They're going to do what they want to do, until they find out it didn't work, and then they're going to end up ruining the franchise for all the fans. And so that's why I was screaming last year about this Rudy Gobert trade being so horrible for the Timberwolves, because now look where they're at now. They have to move Carl. You know what I mean? They have to, in order to free up the flexibility necessary for themselves to even move forward with a decent basketball team. So Phoenix is no different. After doing this trade, they're in probably about as bad a situation as in Minnesota in a way, but at least with Phoenix, all three of their players still have value right now. Rudy Gobert, you can't resell him for nothing. But that Bradley Beal contract, I hear he waived the no trade clause in order to make it happen, but I'm not sure what that means for him in regards to using it if for some reason the Phoenix Suns want to trade him. I don't really know, so I'm just going to cry ignorance, but the contract is hefty dollar-wise nevertheless, and it's very difficult to build that way when you got KD's contract and Booker's contract to consider. So that's it, man. Phoenix has built their super team, giving the middle finger to Adam Silver and the Players Association and everybody else who would otherwise they not do this. And now we get to see what Bradley Beal looks like in a different uniform. I'm not mad for him. He gets to be in a situation where at least it looks like he'd be a part of something exciting, and even if it can't win. But, nevertheless, we'll see how it goes, man. I think this would be a lot easier for these guys if the NBA schedule was only like 30, 40 games. If there was 30, 40 games, they would kill it, because you don't have to worry about really them being worn down. Just get straight to the playoffs, and they can win their 16 games to get the championship, because they're going to be hardly able to guard. And so long as you can keep those top 8 healthy, which is what the Denver Nuggets were able to do, you can handle it. But when you've watched as many NBA seasons as I have, year in, year out, you know that these guys are going to get worn down, man. It's not even about how good they are or the scheme. Your scheme is not going to even be a scheme because they're not going to be on the floor. So that's what I know. And that's not even accounting for foul trouble. I mean, it's like, all right, man, non-defensive players are definitely fouling people. So, yeah, who is guarding Amen Thompson? Who is guarding Cam Whitmore? Who's guarding Wembanyama? I just have no answer for these things for you. I don't think they do either. They're just going to shoot the ball. The answer is nobody. No one is guarding anybody. We're just going to outscore you. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think they're going to outscore the Denver Nuggets. I don't think that. I don't think with what they have, they're going to outdo the Jokic and his shooting minions around him. I just don't see it. And then there will be other teams that emerge trying to build in a way that allows for more shot making as well. Utah Jazz, I expect them to be significantly better in that way as well. So you got some efficient shooters, but you don't have enough of them. You just got high level ones, and that ain't gonna cut it. You're gonna need shots being hit from different angles, especially when guys are in foul trouble or getting injured, and your team's gonna be hot garbage, Phoenix. Hot garbage. Unless you can find something out of nothing. Second round guys pop out of nowhere. Vet come in, turns back the clock for $1 million. You need something like that to happen, Phoenix. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of fluff, man. It's just fluff. You'll be out of here in the first round, second round, possibly. That's God's honest truth. That's what I believe. So that's what I got to say, man. My name is BDL44. I thank you all for watching. Wow.